What's good, you guys? It's your boy Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a breakdown up on Lance Stephenson getting traded to the Clippers. I like this trade for a little different reasons. I'm sorry that I can't put up no pictures or nothing on the page, but I'm just gonna turn this video into a straight up podcast. I'm not at my house. I'm at somebody else's, and I'm working on a website. So sorry that y'all can't see no images or nothing, but I'm just gonna turn this into straight up knowledge podcast. And this one is a tricky trade because they don't really have that much room in the Clippers. They especially if they give DeAndre Jordan the money, so they don't have that many margins and stuff to do. So this trade might seem like it's good or bad. Like they said, they gambled on Spencer Hawes and they gave up on him in a year. And they said same thing happened to the Clippers. They gave up on Lance Stephenson in a year. He worth 6 mil and Lance Stephenson is worth 9. Matt Barnes has pretty much been a productive player since he has got with the Clippers. He never was the answer for them, though. They knew they needed to get better. And Lance Stephenson is the better player because he does multiple things. He a good playmaker. He got good basketball IQ to a certain extent. And he do make basketball plays, and he is a good defender. But he do need the coaching. I think that's why this trade is good for both sides. Because with the right personnel, which is Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, DeAndre, JJ Redick, he in the right type of environment and system to succeed because they don't need him to be the second best player or a ball creator. They just really need him to be a 3-and-D guy, which is pretty much potentially what he can be. He kind of did it in Indy, but he also showed off his rebounding and his playmaking in Indy. He can do the same type of characteristics. They just don't need him to do all the work and he don't have to do all the ball handling, create all the shots off the dribble like Kemba Walker had to do because they don't have no floor spacing. In Los Angeles, they have a whole lot of floor space, and that's going to open it up for Lance Stephenson for driving lanes and getting to the basket and get to the free throw line, also with his playmaking. I like that he can actually do that with the shooters with J.J. Redick and Chris Paul, and Blake Griffin can space out the floor. It gives them driving lanes to get to the basket and create for J.J., Chris Paul, and Blake Griffin off the dribble. They always need a lockdown defender. He's not a lockdown defender, but he's pretty good. Him and Matt Barnes, I take Lance over there. But like I said, Lance overall is the better player. He was pretty much abysmal when he played with the Charlotte Hornets, but it just was a bad fit. They didn't have the right personnel for Lance, and they didn't have the right type of system that he can succeed in. If they can get him some easy baskets and keep the ball out of his hand to a high extent, I think Lance Stephenson can be a good role player on this team. And you only paying him $9 million, and you can always get rid of him and just waive the contract off because he got pretty much got a team option anyway, and you can just let him go next year. So this is a short-term gamble for the Clippers. I don't know what Charlotte's going to get because they can get rid of Matt Barnes and Spencer Hawes probably later in their career. So I don't really like the trade for the Hornets because they got rid of Lance. But Lance is pretty much, to me, better than both of the players they got. But it do add some shooting on a wing because they really do need some shooting in Charlotte and some floor spacing. And I think Matt Barnes, who never been a nasty three-point shooter, he can space up the floor at the 3 position and give some room for Lance Stephenson and Al Jefferson to work, something that Lance Stephenson can't do. But the thing I want to say about the coaching is Doc Rivers usually get the best out of all his players, and he can be real hard on Lance and help him learn quicker and help him learn faster. We know he can play defense. We know he got boneheaded plays. You just need a coach that's hard on you. And with the offensive weapons they got on this team, that gives Lance the ability to do what he used to do in Indy because he got so many talent around him. He don't need to do all the work or be solely a ball handler. He can be more or less a role player. And I think his three-point shot is fixable. He was respectable in Indiana. He was a respectable 36% three-point shooter, which is about average, what you want to shoot. If he can become back to that and Los Angeles shooting spot up threes, that's just going to be all on coaching to help him get back his shot and his confidence better. That's what Doc Rivers does. He's a high motivator. He knows Lance goes ups and downs. And that's why you just got to be hard on him and keep him going up, keep his head up. And that's something that they didn't do in Charlotte. He pretty much was in a funk all year in Charlotte, and he probably got a chance to prove himself this year in Los Angeles. They give him a big chance, and he's going to be playing in the big stage, and most likely he's going to be in the playoffs again. So he's going to be in a winning atmosphere in a team with championship hopes. And when they bring back DeAndre Jordan and Lance Stephenson on the wing, this team with JJ Redick, Lance, and Chris Paul and Blake and DeAndre is going to be a good combination if they can figure out what they're going to do with Lance offensively, which he can do a lot of versatile things. So I think with him playing with better teammates and a better coach, I think he'll bring out the best in Lance and get him back to his comfortable abilities where he don't have to do too much and he don't have no floor spacing to do what he usually do. That's all gone when he goes to the Clippers. So I think we'll see more of the old Lance in Los Angeles because of the weapons and because he gonna have a lesser role. But the hugest thing in here is that he's a young, athletic, heady defender, something that Matt Barnes is, but he just older and he can grow with Chris, who's only 30, and Blake, who's still in his 20s, and same with DeAndre. They only paying him $9 million, and he probably much won't get more than that in the NBA. So that's a real good deal for a solid guy that can do a lot of things at a young age. So I think when they marginalize his role, he'll be able to do everything that they want him to do. And like I said, Doc Rivers is one of the ultimate motivators. He'll be able to get him back in game, and he'll be able to keep his spirits high. So I think it's a good trade for both teams. I think it's a good trade for the Clippers, but not a good trade for the Hornets. But we'll see how it plays out, what the Hornets do with the pieces and how they work them into the offense, or if they just going to use them for trades or just use them on the bench. Whatever the Hornets do, they just wanted to dump Lance Stephenson, and I think the Clippers was the right team to give him to. And I think this is going to be a good trade for the Clippers in the long run. But like I said, it is a risk because Lance Stephenson was terrible last year. But like I said, that was mostly because the system and the floor space was just too cramped, and he couldn't do the things that he used to do. In LA, they got the weapons and the floor spacing to do that. So I think it's a good trade for the Clippers. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Quinway Basketball Analysis sign out. And the next video we're going to have is an NBA tribute to Steph Curry for winning the MVP and most likely Finals MVP if they can win it on Tuesday. I'll be covering the game, so I will be making videos. But that'll be the next video is an NBA tribute to Steph Curry MVP and Finals MVP season. Quinway Basketball Analysis signing out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.